This episode is brought to you by Battleborn Batteries, the best name in the RV and marine industry. These lithium batteries are designed and assembled in the USA, backed by a 10-year warranty. The best solution for your battery anxiety, so go check them out at battlebornbatteries.com.
You are listening to Beyond the Wheel, a podcast about the people and ideas that drive the RV community forward.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 17 of the Beyond the Wheel podcast. In this episode, we talk with Clayton, the founder and owner of Hutch Mountain. Hutch Mountain focuses on the ability to use alternative fuels such as propane in our Honda generators. This was our first live recording. We caught up with Clayton at the RVX show earlier this year. Since it was our first live recording, we had a couple of sound issues, but it doesn't take away from the great information Clayton has to share on generators and the benefits of alternative fuels. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode of the Beyond the Wheel podcast. Okay, welcome Clayton to the podcast, and if you could, please just tell us a little bit about yourself and Hutch Mountain.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Good to be here, guys. Here at RVX, pretty awesome. A little snow flying in Utah, so the purpose of this show, I think, is to get geared up for the RV season. So pretty cool to be here with you guys. But yeah, so my name is Clayton Hutchinson. I own Hutch Mountain, and I'll kind of tell you the story how everything got started. Essentially, we've all been there. You've got your gasoline can, you're filling up the lawnmower, and the way you know that the tank is full is when it comes gurgling out of the top, right? Yeah. And so I had to stop filling up the lawnmower on the lawn. Got the burnt spots there. Right? And I have an alternative fuels background, and essentially I started in the industry doing full automotive, so we were doing trucks and cars. We were blending natural gas into diesels, and it would increase their performance, give you better fuel economy, a lot better emissions. And I bought one of these little Honda generators, and I thought, no way, I'm the propane guy. I am not going to run this Honda generator on gasoline. Okay. So just kind of prototyped up a little part and put it together, got my Honda running, and I was like, sweet, that's kind of cool. And you know how the story goes with a lot of companies. Someone's like, where did you get that propane Honda? And it's like, well, I made it. Can you make me one? Sure, yeah. And it started out as just kind of a side deal. I was in the corporate world and had a completely different career path. Had no idea this would turn into a company someday. And one thing led to another, and the pressures of the corporate world, my wife and I talked about it, and we said, you know what? We should try to actually turn this into a business. I mean, I've got the alternative fuels background. I know a lot about this stuff. Let's see if we can do it. And
so you, when you first did it, you just did it for yourself. You had no intention of making that into a business.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it was completely for myself. Just I don't like the gasoline. It smells. You spill it. It can go bad inside your carburetor and everything. So it was like, I'm just not going to do this. And just made it for myself. Yeah, one thing to another, and here we are today.
Wow.
And about how long ago was that, Clayton? When was the first prototype, or when did you do your very first conversion?
Yeah, so that was about 8 years ago. Put it together, took it camping, and a lot of people out camping started seeing it, and that's when the questions started coming up. I put them on eBay, and it was essentially like I would sell maybe like 1 or 2 a month, and it was completely hobby stuff at that point.
Okay. What are the benefits of running a propane generator versus leaving it on gas?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so just to clarify, the kits will, once you convert your Honda over with the Hutch Mountain kit, it will still run gasoline. You still have that option. For me personally, I mean, it's got to be apocalypse, zombies coming over the hill before I'll put gasoline in it. But it's nice to know that you still can. But some of the benefits is that the gasoline that we have today with the ethanol, and even if you buy the ethanol free, the shelf life is just not there.
Oh, okay.
And so it can go bad. It gums up your carburetor. And here's the thing, it's just not right that you buy a portable generator and you've got it for the emergency backup, you got it for camping, you did the right thing, and then you go out there and you pull the rope till your arm hurts and the thing won't start.
Yeah, it's frustrating too.
Exactly. So, and it runs a lot cleaner. Nobody wants to be the stinky neighbor in the campground, and you're running your generator and the fumes are drifting over to your neighbor. And with propane, there's still exhaust. You just don't have the smell that's there. It's so much cleaner and everything like that.
So the propane is actually, did you work with propane before you came up with this idea? I know you said alternative fuels. Did that include propane?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So a lot of my background is with natural gas, and a lot of the properties are similar, even though they are different fuels for sure, different BTU ratings in the fuels and things. But a lot of it was natural gas, and that translates over to the propane side as well.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. And then you had mentioned that you are still able to run on gas even after you make the conversion run off propane. How difficult is it for it to switch back to gas and go back to, back and forth like that?
Right. We try to keep it easy. So let's say that you're running your propane, and like I said before, the apocalypse is coming. Oh man, I gotta go back to that smelly gasoline. All you do is you turn off your propane tank. We have a nice little quick connect on top of the gen. You disconnect it, turn the knob to gasoline, and pull the rope, and now you're running gasoline.
So very
it's that
easy,
easy.
very simple.
Yeah.
It's not, okay.
Wow. I thought you would have had to remove parts or something.
Right, absolutely. A lot of people ask, well, can I have gasoline in the tank? Absolutely. You can have gasoline in the tank
Oh, you
while you're
can.
running the propane.
Okay. So when we saw you at Quartzsite, you had only Honda generators there. And so you only do this conversion on Honda generators?
Right now, that's what we've focused on, and I'll tell you why. With the technology that we have and the way we've put everything together, essentially, if it runs on gasoline, we can make it run on propane. But we've really stuck with the Honda brand. I've always been a fan of Honda. Of course, they're known for the reliability and everything like that. But a lot of people say, man, but the Hondas are so expensive. We are very particular with who we put our name next to, and with some of the other brands, we've had pretty much everything in the shop that you can imagine. And you know that if you have one of these cheaper brands and they break, oh man, it's the propane guy's fault. You put this kit on.
That's a good point.
Now flames are coming out of my generator. But with the Hondas, we never have issues. And I can tell you in the 8 years that I've been doing this, and officially, as far as the company itself, when we went full time, it's been close to 3.5, 4 years now. We have not had a single Honda come back to us on a warranty or anything like that, because they're amazing. They work. They're great. Another point that I should bring up is the difference in the generators. Again, we get a lot of people that say, well, I won't name brands here, but what about this brand? It's half the cost and I can get it for this price. The problem is a lot of the other manufacturers put these tiny little engines inside of their generators, and they just don't produce the power they claim. So the sticker on the outside might say this is a 2500 or a 2200 or a 2000 watt, but with a small 80cc engine, it's never going to produce the power they claim.
Not even at peak?
Not even at peak. And again, I won't name brands. We've had a couple that says, okay, this is a 2200 watt generator, and we'll do the load testing on it, and it's 1600 watts. I mean, it falls on its face, and it's done. And you're like, wait a minute, you're supposed to peak at this and run at this, and you're not even getting to your running. So in comparison, if you have an 80cc engine versus Honda's 121cc engine in their new 2200, pure physics says that one's going to produce the power they claim and the other is not. So that's why we go that route.
And so will the propane produce the same amount of power through the motor that gasoline does?
That is a great question. So there's something called the BTU rating, and basically that's the energy contained in the molecule of the propane versus the gasoline. Now, gasoline has a higher BTU rating, and it has more energy within that molecule. With most propane kits on the market, we have a lot of competitors out there, you're going to lose about 10 to 12% of your output on your generator. The technology that we use in our adapter there's no airflow loss. And so in the shop and in a controlled environment, I can get the same performance as gasoline, even with the lower BTU rating, or a little bit more. Now, in the real world, you're about 3 to 5% reduction out in the field in an uncontrolled environment. So unless you have a gauge or some way to really measure that, you're not going to notice that 3 or 5% reduction.
Okay. Oh, that's good to know.
That's very good. And you had mentioned about a gauge and the efficiency. About how long can somebody run a generator on, say, what's the standard tank size? Is it a 20-pound tank?
Yeah, so your standard barbecue tank, and this is one of those questions where it depends on, did you get your tank exchanged? Did you get it refilled? What was the temperature? There's a lot of variables there. But on average, you're going to get about 4.3 to 4.5 gallons in a standard barbecue 20-pound tank. And if you're running the gen as hard as it can go, you're going to get about 12 hours on it. Half load, you're going to be right in that 20 to 22 hour range. And if you're just watching TV, charging the batteries in the RV, you're going to get it right around 33 hours on that single barbecue tank. So
that's impressive. No, that's better than numbers than I was expecting.
You're not getting up in the middle of the night to, oh man, honey, can you go change or fill up the generator with gasoline or something?
Yeah, that's great. I got another quick question for you. So the conversion kits, are these something that the average consumer can do, or does a professional need to be able to do it?
Absolutely. So everyone has a different skill set, right? And we live in an amazing DIY culture and world where YouTube is out there. And the funny thing is, we have not made any videos of the installation itself, but we have our customers, and they get them, and they've done some fantastic jobs. So if you just hit HutchMountain.com, or not HutchMountain.com, YouTube, and Google up Hutch Mountain propane install, there are a couple really good videos out there, and step-by-step. The average person, you're going to be about 45 minutes to put it in. The install guide that comes with it, lots of pictures. I mean, essentially that is what the install guide is lots of pictures with inline text. And if you read our number one question is, how hard is it to put in? And if you read our reviews, the number one comment is, man, that was so easy. I got it. Oh, took me longer to get the tools out or find my tools.
Really? Oh, that's good too. So what do you warranty the kit itself, the conversion kit?
Yeah, absolutely. So instead of doing like a lifetime warranty with a bunch of loopholes and, oh, you didn't do this or that, we just do straight up 2 years. It doesn't matter what happens to the kit. I mean, you run it over with the rig, you know, you smash it, send the pieces back to us in a box, and we've got you taken care of.
The generator's a different story.
Right, and I can mention something on that right now. So as far as your Honda warranty, if you go buy a brand spanking new Honda, it comes with a 3-year warranty. And a lot of customers are like, well, I'm not sure if I want to put the kit on. Does it void my warranty? What am I going to do there? And so for all intents and purposes, we've told people, consider the warranty void because it's not a Honda product. Technically speaking, they shouldn't be able to void the warranty. It's no different than if you go get a different size tire on your vehicle. Well, your fuel pump goes out on your truck, they shouldn't be able to deny you a warranty because the tire size on your truck had nothing to do with it, right? So technically it's not legal for them to deny the warranty. We're working on some stuff right now. So this is new stuff, guys, right here. Not even available on the website yet. We're going to come out with an extended warranty. And I think you guys had Micro Air on the podcast a little while ago. And they were running up with the same thing. So I'm going to buy a new coach, and they were like,
they told us we had a whole discussion about the warranty issues.
Yeah, and it's like, well, don't put off buying this fantastic product because you're worried about the warranty. So we're in the works right now of doing an extended warranty that if you take your Honda into a dealership, and for whatever reason, if they said, oh, well, you've got this aftermarket thing on here, we're not going to cover it, contact us, and we will honor that same Honda warranty that they have there. So the customer's covered.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. People like that peace of mind. Who's your target consumer for this?
So really there are a couple different sectors of the market for us. Really, the RV industry is huge. That accounts for a large portion of our business. So you've got the people that take for the scenario that a lot of people with the bigger trailers and the fifth wheels, they've got a diesel pickup truck and they're pulling the RV, so they have propane. And the only reason they're carrying that gas can is to fill up the generator.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So yeah, they can eliminate the gas can, and then on the smaller side of things, if you've got some of the smaller RVs that are coming out, they're pulling them with the crossovers, the light duty vehicles, and they're enclosed, so it's an SUV. You do not want to be putting a gas can inside your enclosed vehicle or inside your rig.
Yeah, that's a great point.
So there's a lot of the RV industry that we focus on. The other part is the emergency preparedness. So the kit is tri-fuel. It'll run propane, gasoline, and natural gas. So you're running it in your coach, when you're out camping, you're doing your thing. Oh, there's a power outage, and it's going to be a sustained power outage. Propane is still great, but there's a supply there that you run out of your propane tank. Hook it up to your house, and I mean, really, as long as you've paid your gas bill, you've got an infinite supply of fuel there to keep on going. And I can tell you that we had the hurricanes that hit Puerto Rico a couple years ago. They were in a bad way, and being able to have propane, it's pretty available there, was a big deal to be able to keep life sustaining in that situation. So, and I got to tell you, really, man, that's what keeps us going, is when you hear those stories and that feedback, and it's like, man, I just bought my kit and the storm hit 2 days later. You're not going to believe this, and kept my family warm, or kept the food in the freezer going. And it's like, oh, that's why we do this stuff, you know? And so it really just gets us excited.
So you also, I know I talked to you on the side, and you had mentioned also maybe ice fishermen would be a good market for this, because they definitely need a generator when they're sitting out on that ice.
Right, absolutely. Well, and here's the other thing. So if you're not a fisherman, you may not understand this, but I ice fish all the time, and we can be some weird people. And I'll tell you why. We have all these tricks about catching fish and what fish like and what they don't like. Do they really even care, or are they just swimming around biting at stuff? They probably do. But if you get if you get gasoline on your hands, and now you've got that gasoline scent, and you're messing with your lure, and you drop it down in, now you got an issue. That fish is going to come by and be like, whoa, that is a weird smelling worm. I am not going to eat that. It looks good. And he swims on by. So by having the propane, everything's clean. We've got the quick connects. It snaps on. It's good to go. And then ice fishing is a unique thing, because our business kind of slows down in the wintertime, and it's something that I love to do. And that's another thing, is we have a real relational connection with our customers. We don't just sell you a product and say, have fun. We like to actually get out with our customers. And so, you know, this fall we're going to be hitting up the ice, Great Lakes area. We're going to go out and just do some fishing with people. And we're going to call it a business trip, right? You know, like, you got to have those tax write-offs, right?
That's a fun way to do it. What about solar, Clayton? So a lot of people are switching to solar systems and things like that. Does it cut into your market at all? Do you feel anything from that?
Oh, man, solar is killing me. No. No, solar is awesome, and I'll tell you why. Some of our best customers are customers that have put solar on the RV, and the reason being is that, okay, so if you've got a good solar setup and you've got some awesome lithiums like a Battleborn battery, which shout out to those guys, they rock. Our neighbors just to the west of us over in Nevada. Most of the time, you've got sunshine, you're charging your batteries, you've got enough capacity. You're not going to need the generator. So if you have that backup generator in those cases that you're going to need it, but you had gasoline in it, and now the gasoline went bad, there's your redundancy. It's gone.
Yep.
So the propane really is a good solution to have as your backup. And then the other part, too, is just if people are in a hot climate and you're running your AC, of course, if you're going to run your AC on solar and battery, you've got to have a substantial amount of battery power there to keep it going for extended periods of time. So a lot of our solar customers will run solar most of the time, but when they get in those hot climates, they're down in Arizona and the sun's baking down on them, pull out the generator, fire it up, it's clean, and you put it away, and you know that when you pull it out in 3-4 months, it's going to start for you the next time too. So solar's awesome. We love solar customers.
Is it safer to run is it safer to run propane over standard gasoline?
Great question. So I have a lot of people, and there's a lot of anxiety when it comes to because you see on the news someone had a natural gas and it blew up an apartment complex or something like that, and it's like, oh wow, that's crazy. But honestly, propane is a good, safe fuel. If you think about this for a minute, where is your gas tank located in the generator? Literally like an inch away from the engine and where the combustion's taking place. Where with the propane kit, you have it inside of a steel cylinder, a couple feet away from it. And so the risk there is a lot less. And the emissions are so much cleaner. Obviously, like your carbon monoxide poisoning is a big deal when you're in the RV realm, and you got to be careful in making sure that you're not, killing yourself essentially, or getting gassed out in the RV. So we tell everyone, pretend that you're running gasoline, vent everything the same, have the same precautions, but just know that the emissions are so much cleaner. The other cool thing about the clean emissions is that if you're around the exhaust on gasoline,
You can smell it.
it like sticks to your clothes and you're like the walking gasoline guy, So it is a lot safer from a carbon monoxide standpoint. Again, I say that with caution. Make sure you still have everything vented as you should. Pretend you're running gasoline. It's just a lot cleaner fuel. Honestly, in some of my alternative fuel training in the early days, they talk about having gasoline and propane and natural gas. And if it were a brand new thing and all these three fuels were brought to the table, we would laugh at gasoline. Like we wouldn't even consider running it, but now we have the infrastructure and everything set up. I mean, that's what we use because the infrastructure's there. But if you had everything brought to the table today, there's no way we would go with gasoline. You mean it goes bad in like 3 months and can clog up my stuff?
Yeah, and I remember being at the Quartzsite show when we met up with you and you started it up on the propane. I was purposely trying to smell it, which probably is not the best idea, but I couldn't smell anything. It was amazing just how clean it was. It was actually running. I was standing right behind it. I was doing my best to try to smell it, which I don't recommend. So what are some of your biggest challenges with running the company, getting it started, getting the word out and things like that?
My biggest thing is I am a perfectionist, and you'll see that in the quality of the products that you get. The biggest thing that I have is that, so we're selling the kit as it is now, but I have so many improvements that we're doing to it all the time. And it seems like the industry as a whole that we're in, the alternative fuels for propane conversion kits on generators, they made their kit, they're done, they're selling it, and it's 20-year-old technology. So we're continually pushing forward, pushing the envelope with new ideas. So the hardest thing for me is putting it out to market. But wait, I got this other cool thing I want to add to the kit, or this cool new feature, and it's just like, you're already light years ahead of anything else out there on the market. Just have more revisions more often and continue to push it out. So that's what I struggle with. We've got some really cool things that we're going to be doing with the Honda generator, and I mean, I could kind of throw some shout outs out there a little bit, but we're going to be doing like remote starts, remote shutoffs. We looked at some Bluetooth technology so you can run it from your phone, and so
That would be nice.
yeah, there's a lot of cool things. Oh, and that's how it is. Like, hey, can you go turn off the generator? And it's snowing outside or something. We have some cool things, but I would say that's the biggest struggle right now is just taming myself, if you will, and just saying, okay, this is good. Push this out. Let's work on the next revision and get something else out. So.
How big is the company? It's you and how many other people are working with you?
Oh man, so we are a huge corporation. But so there's myself, I've got two full-time guys, and then another thing too that we're trying to do with our company, like I said, it's not just about selling product and making money. We've got some high school kids that come and work for us, and a lot of people are like,
That's cool.
oh man, you have high schoolers helping you? Like, but at the same time, it's really cool. Like, take the company Chick-fil-A, for example. You have these youth, and you go into a Chick-fil-A, and it's clean, and it's nice, and they greet you, and you say, I would like this. And what is their response always? My pleasure.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you get these youth to come into a working environment where they're honest with what they're doing, they're professional, they're kind, and so we want to give them, and we can only work them, with labor laws a couple hours a day, and just give them a good experience after school, but teach them some work ethic. And I kind of mentioned before how our customers give us reviews, and it'll say, man, that was so easy to install, or loving my kit, or the ones that's like, my dad has a condition and he needs a backup if the power goes out, he needs to be able to hook this thing up, whether it's a CPAP or whatever the machine may be. And I feel really good now that I got this for my dad, and I know that if the power goes out, he's going to be able to, essentially sustain life and keep going. We get those emails, and it's like, this is awesome. And instead of like letting it go to our head and get kind of prideful about it, we show that to our guys and say, look, this is why you're here. Yeah. You're not just wrapping Teflon onto a fitting or assembling a regulator or putting a kit together. You're making a difference in these people's lives, and you're actually helping produce something that you're going to make someone's camping trip for them. They're going to be able to go and enjoy and not worry about, is the generator going to start, and have a good time. So we find that as an opportunity to teach our full-time employees, but also give the youth an opportunity to really learn some good work ethic and be inspired a little bit, and hopefully create some more entrepreneurs out there.
So where are you based out of?
Oh, this is the best part. So we are in basically Salt Lake City, Utah right now at RVX, and so people from Utah ask where I'm from, and it's Elsinore, Utah. And most people from Utah are like,
where's that?
Elsa, what? But essentially, we are in a small town, and that's what I love about the world we live in today is with the e-commerce, you can live essentially wherever you want, and we can run this business from there. There's like 1,200 people that live in Elsinore. We're between Salt Lake City and St. George. There's the I-15 that comes down right off of I-70 that heads over to Colorado. We're about 20 minutes up of I-70. So if you've driven I-70 and you've come through Utah, just honk when you go through Elsinore and I'll probably hear you.
So I think you might have already answered my next question, which was going to be, what do you most enjoy about this? And I think maybe it is the impact that your company has of being actually a literal lifesaver.
You got it. You nailed it. And that's what it is. It's just the interaction with the customers. We got a couple this morning, and I've actually got my brother working for me now, just hired him on full time, and he sent me an email. He's like, you got to hear this. And he read it, and the guy was just going on. And I don't know, people say things like, you guys are geniuses, and whoever engineered this is, and it's like, okay, all right, we got to stay humble here, guys. But really the most rewarding part is receiving that type of feedback from your customers and know that you're making a difference. And honestly, it doesn't matter. We could be selling, I don't know, mouse traps or something. It's about taking care of your customers, and we are not afraid of an old-fashioned phone call. So much today is you get online, you're sending a message back and forth, and so we've got a 5-minute rule, and the maximum that we take that is 30 minutes. And if you send us an email, we strive in 5 minutes to have you on the phone, talking to you, seeing what your needs are, and trying to help you out. So.
Wow. You don't find that very often, that's for sure.
And if you don't get us, we obviously have business hours and everything else. You get our email, and it's funny, it cracks me up. So we have people, no joke, that will call us and they'll be like, hey, can we call back and just let us listen to your voicemail? I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Like, no. I gotta let my buddy hear your voicemail. So, and what it is, it's just funny. If you guys ever want to call our voicemail, you can. It's we get it all the time, but we don't do the, sorry, you've reached Hutch Mountain and we're assisting other customers at the moment. What does that tell somebody? We're assisting someone else, like someone else is more important than you. And we tell people, like, you know what? No one wants to get voicemail. Like, we don't like voicemail. Sorry that you got here, but we are passionate about what we do. We love our customers, and we will call you back and get your needs taken care of. So, yeah, if you ever do get the voicemail, which I'm sorry if you do, most of the time we're always there, leave us a voicemail.
Where can people get the product? Obviously, they can probably order it from hutchmountain.com. Are you with any distributors or any other RV businesses, things like that?
Right. So most of what we do is direct to consumer. We do have a lot of small engine repair shops and where they will order and install for their customers and things. You can get us at hutchmountain.com. That's our website directly there. We do give you a little spoof there, a little extra discount, and we do Amazon and eBay as well. With Amazon and eBay, of course, there's a commission there, We're grateful for them. They bring a lot of customers our way. So what we do if you come to hutchmountain.com is I have to pay a commission to eBay or Amazon, either way.
Yeah.
So instead of giving them the commission, if you come to hutchmountain.com, we just pass that on to you. So you as the consumer, you get a discount. It doesn't matter to us. It washes out either way at the end.
Yeah. Is the propane conversion the only product that you actually designed and manufacture?
Good question. So, and another thing when you get to our website, we have funny names for things. We think you need to be descriptive in what you're selling so people understand. So we developed something called the Bad Gas Gummed Up Ethanol Carb Eliminator Switch. Wow. Yeah, you like that? And essentially what it is on the older Honda 2000s, you can convert them to propane, but if you're within a certain serial number range, like the very first ones that came out, they are not compatible with propane. So make sure you check the website and you can check your serial number range. But for those, and for someone who doesn't want to convert to propane, not everybody wants to, but they want to be able to get the gasoline out of their carburetor. With the Hondas, the way they are now is when you turn the knob, it shuts the engine off and it shuts the gasoline off, leaving all of that gasoline in the fuel bowl of the carburetor.
Oh, wow.
So we got this little switch, we put it together, and essentially now you can turn your knob to the off position. The engine continues to run, burns the gasoline out of the carburetor, and then shuts your Honda down.
Oh, that's pretty good.
So, yeah, it's just a silly little thing that we put together, and it comes with our propane kits because you need to isolate and shut the gasoline off to run the propane. And it's just as a byproduct, we thought, you know what, let's package this and sell it as an individual product. So if you're not into the propane or if you've got a super old Honda and you're not sure it's compatible, you can buy one of those and help, alleviate some of the pains that go along with running gasoline.
Yeah, that doesn't even make sense that the gas would sit there knowing that it's not an item that you use frequently. I mean, most people don't use a generator all the time. So having that gas sit there just going bad, I guess.
Yeah, the generator is... It's an oxymoron because a lot of people buy them for emergency purposes, for the backup, for the fail-safe, to have that extra component that, hey, when things go bad, I've got power, and then it lets you down. And I mean, it's like, that's hopefully what we're trying to resolve, is to help people have that. Other products that we sell, we do the Micro Air Easy Start. That is an amazing product. And the guys over at Micro Air, they really have their stuff together. So those that don't know, essentially what it is you can run your air conditioner in your RV. It's a 13.5, 15,000, doesn't matter, with a single Honda generator. So you don't need two of them. You don't need the big, loud 4,000 watt Onan or anything like that. With your quiet 2,200 or 2,000 watt Honda, you can fire it up and run your AC with just a single unit. So it's an awesome product. We love selling their stuff. And there's some other competing products for them as well out on the market. But as we only sell Honda stuff, because of the quality, we only align our name with companies that we know that are there. That's why I can give shout outs to Battleborn, proven stuff, 10-year warranty. I mean, they really got their stuff together. Micro Air, proven stuff. It's going to work for you. And so, yeah, we've got a couple other products that we do.
Okay.
Well, Clayton, I think that's all of our questions for you today. Is there anything that you feel that we missed or anything else that you would like to talk about before we let you go? And we do appreciate your time.
Hey, you guys are awesome. Sean, Kenny, love what you guys are doing with the podcast. And we're trying to get as many people to start listening to it just because it's so informative. And what's the program we were talking about?
How we built this?
Yeah.
Or how I built this?
It's one of those two.
Yeah.
I can't even remember. We were joking about it, but yeah, it's almost like that's
how
what
I built this.
Yeah, how I built this. It's kind of like that podcast where you have people that are inventing products and bringing things to the marketplace and new innovations and things that are going on. So fantastic with what you guys are doing. And I'll give a little sneak peek. We're going to be giving away a brand new Honda 2200 with a propane conversion kit in the near future. So probably by the time this podcast airs, if you hit hutchmountain.com or our Facebook page, we'll have it up there so you guys can kind of check that out.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's awesome.
And we'll put links for that.
Yeah, we'll put links for that on our website as well. And should definitely share all your information. You guys have hutchmountain.com, and then how can they find you on Facebook?
Oh dear. So you said one of the things we struggle with. I've really got to get in the game on the Facebook, but we do have a Facebook page, and you can message us through that, obviously, and call us on the phone. Like I said, we are not afraid of the old-fashioned phone call. We really think that that's a big part to actually walk through people's scenarios. What do they need, and how can we help them?
Okay.
All right, so we want to thank Clayton for coming on and talking about Hutch Mountain and giving us a little bit of behind the scenes of what it took to get everything together, the challenges, all the benefits. We hope that everybody goes and checks them out. Thanks for listening, everybody, and we will catch you in the next episode.
This episode is brought to you by Battleborn Batteries, the best name in the RV and marine industry. These lithium batteries are designed and assembled in the USA, backed by a 10-year warranty. The best solution for your battery anxiety, so go check them out at battlebornbatteries.com.